So clicky. So clicky.
So clicky.
Ah, thumb safety. Thumb safety. Shit. Ah.
Okay, so we got a pretty cool product here. This is the 3E A1X, and in front of you is several of the market's most popular enclosed emitter optics, mostly renowned for their quality and durability in duty environments and harsh environments. Most popularly the Aimpoint ACRO P2, which is a fantastic enclosed emitter optic that has served me very well for a very long time, both as a carry gun, a range gun, and for other recreational uses like USPSA competition shooting. Next is the Steiner MPS red dot, another great enclosed emitter optic. This one, however, is very different from the ACRO, the Trijicon RCR, because this one has a top-down emitter, which is nice because it sits lower and allows you to get that lower one-third co-witness with standard sights, much like this Walther PDP here with stock sights. And then most notably, one of the newer ones here, this is the Trijicon RCR, which most would say that the mounting system is actually in question with the use of the captain screws here. But this optic has been pretty solid for me. I've had a lot of these optics come into my shop to be retorqued and to be fixed. But the one that we're going to talk about here is this guy. Okay, so 3E Optics. Who are they, and where are they from, and what do they do? So 3E Optics is a company in Turkey. They are geared towards their law enforcement and military use products. They make things like rifle optics, magnified optics, red dot sights, night vision, and many other things that serves their military and law enforcement agencies. So this is new to the U.S. market, and I've ran this optic for quite some time now on this Smith & Wesson M&P9 2.0. Most recently, I used this in a USPSA match here at Cocoa Head in white. And so, comparing this to these optics here, just to get to the point, is that this optic has been fantastic. Okay, it's been reliable. It's gone through maybe about 2,000 rounds now, and I have not had any issues with the screws backing out. Paired with the Apex tactical mounting plate for the Aimpoint ACRO, which this shares the same footprint as the Aimpoint ACRO P2, which is in my opinion, probably the best red dot mounting system ever, because it uses a indexing point much like pick rail. Okay, so it has a lug, a recoil lug. So anyway, this optic has been very reliable. It's been very fun to shoot, very pleasant. It has a 20% wider window than the Aimpoint ACRO P2, which is nice. But not only is it larger in window size for acquiring targets, but it is also a top-down emitter. And one of the issues I experienced with this Smith & Wesson M&P9 2.0 is that even with suppressor height sights like I have mounted here in the front and rear, is that I was not able to achieve the lower one-third co-witness with the Aimpoint ACRO P2, which is why the Aimpoint got married to my Glock 19 Gen 5. Okay, this optic, again being a top-down emitter, allows most of the electronics to sit at the very top end of the body, which keeps the window the lowest to the mounting point, which it attaches to the gun. So this optic has been one also very aesthetically pleasing, as it technically matched this gun's slide cuts. The M&P 9 2.0 carry comp has kind of this curve cut here, much like the cuts on the A1X as well. So I'll show you some close-ups of that. But this optic has been very fun to shoot with. It has a very large window, very crisp dot. It's also MRS, so it has a multi-reticle system. So the 3 MOA dot in the center, 32 MOA circle, like the Holosuns and the EOTechs. Okay. This optic actually did come with a lot in the box as well, which is nice and pleasant for a new company to care so much that they give you everything you could possibly need to support this optic. One thing it does come with as well is a MOS adapter plate for Glocks, which is nice. That honestly, in my opinion, should be included with most optics in the market today, especially for the price you're paying for these optics. And another cool thing that 3E has included in the box is a high and low mount for pick rail. So the optic itself can be used on a rifle setup, which they thought of. They also give you 2 flip-up covers to slide and protect both the rear and the front. However, I don't have it on the handgun platform here as it doesn't make sense. But if you put the front on, it's nice because as most pistols tend to splurt out a bunch of oil and debris out of the ejection port here, forward onto the front of the glass. So I do have it on there occasionally, but not necessarily needed. And because of my rear sight position, I cannot put the rear cap on anyway. But regardless, through my time using this optic, it's been very fun, very reliable. It's held zero through many table racks and VTAC board racks. A couple shooting events I went to, including some private shooting sessions, and of course the USPSA match. And it's proved very viable even compared to most of the other optics in front of you, including the most similar to it, which is the Steiner NPS, which is the top-down emitter optic with the slightly wider window, even compared to the Aimpoint ACRO P2. But amidst all of these optics, the biggest difference between them is price point. Okay, so the A1X came in at about $399 MSRP currently. So if there's no sales, that's the price you would pay. The Trijicon RCR is roughly around $700, which is quite a lot of money. The Steiner NPS, the MSRP on this, typically wherever you look, is roughly around $500, $450. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I paid close to for it. And then lastly, the Aimpoint ACRO P2, which even in the used market, it can't go below $500. You probably could from a friend, but I haven't been able to find it lower than roughly around $500 to $450. Okay, so again, this A1X being the cheapest, even brand new out of the box before a sale price, than many of the other competitors here, and even through my testing, has proven to me that I would trust it. I carry this gun daily, and even carrying it, I use it in matches, I use it in training events, private shooting sessions, and it's been a very, very pleasant optic. Absolutely nothing has been able to destroy this optic from my testing. I won't do a torture test because that's very impractical, but rain, mud, dirt, many thousands or hundreds of rounds, sorry, actually around 2,000 rounds with it. Fucking gnats. But it's been a very awesome optic for me to use, and I'm very pleased with the purchase as I spent my own money on it. I'm not sponsored by 3E. I sent an email to them and they didn't reply, but it's something I'm very proud of saying, that even competing against many of these optics here is very viable, and I would highly recommend it to a lot of people that are budget conscious and are looking for an enclosed emitter. One optic here that is not in front of you is the Holosun EPS. I don't have any footage of it, but I did have a bad experience with that. I won't get into that, but Holosun did replace the optic, so kudos to them for good customer service. but that has been the only enclosed emitter optic that I've used that I've had an issue with. And so far, going into this A1X, I didn't know what to expect, but I was absolutely blown away when I finally got it, opened up the packaging, and it is very nicely presented, and especially with its performance. And I would absolutely, again, recommend it to many of you who might be watching this, hopefully. So yeah, if you don't want to spend big dollars on the ACRO, on the Trijicon, on the Steiner, and you don't necessarily want to support the Chinese either, support the Turks. I mean, I love lamb. You probably like lamb. Euros. It's Turkish, right? Is Euros Turkish? I think it's Turkish. Anyway, we'll say it's Turkish, but they make healthy, good food, okay? And that says a lot from a guy who eats Taco Bell 9 times out of a 7-day week, okay? Anywho, aside from the Taco Bell, the 3E optics A1X has completely impressed me in my time, both as a salesman, as a gunsmith, as a competitive shooter, as a recreational shooter, tactical shooter. I mean, shit, I've ran this thing through almost every scenario, and it has outperformed many of these other optics in some way, some form, somehow, to me, in my opinion. And yeah.